The big diesel surveyed the shed. "Not bad," he said. "I've seen worse. At least you're all clean." The engines gaped. "It's not your fault," he went on, "but you're all out of date. Your controller should scrap you and get engines like me. A fill of oil, a touch on the starter, and I'm off, with no bother, no waiting. They have to fuss around you for hours before you're ready." At last, the engines found their voices. An inspector had to come and stop the noise. They held an indignation meeting early next morning round the turntable. "Disgraceful," rumbled Gordon. "Disgusting," said James. "Despicable," spluttered Henry. "To say such things to us," burst out Donald and Douglas. "It's to teach him a lesson we'd be wanting." But no one had any good ideas, and at last they all went off to work except for Duck and Stepney. "Never mind," said Duck. "We'll be sure to think of something." "We'll have to be quick then," warned Stepney. But their chance came sooner than expected. Diesel purred comfortably. He was being warmed up well before time. An inspector watched the fitter making adjustments. A wind tugged at the inspector's hat. The fitter replaced the air intake cover. "Okay, mate," he said. Diesel saw his coaches waiting at the platform. He rolled proudly towards them. "Look at me, Duck and Stepney," he purred. "Now I'll show you something." He advanced a few yards. Then suddenly he coughed, faltered, choked, and stopped. The inspector, meanwhile, had seen nothing of this. He was looking for his hat. "Can we help you at all?" asked Duck and Stepney sweetly. Diesel seethed with baffled fury as they pushed him back to the shed. "My hat!" exclaimed the inspector as the cavalcade went by. "Bother your hat," said the Fat Controller crossly. "The train's due out in 10 minutes, and you'll have to take it, Duck." But when Stepney asked, "Can I help him, sir?" he felt better. The engines and their crews made careful plans. "Gordon will take over from halfway," said the Fat Controller. "She'll get the train there, never mind about being late. Good luck." "Don't worry, sirs," smiled Stepney. "We'll get there and be early too." At last, the guard's flag waved. The engines dug their wheels into the sand and gave a mighty heave. "Now for a sprint," whooped Stepney. "I'm ready when you are," puffed Duck. Thomas was impatient. "Why are we waiting? My passengers are being delayed." "Sorry, Thomas," said his driver. "We're being shunted to allow another train to pass." Under clear signals, they whizzed through Edward Station. "Well, bust my boiler," said Thomas the Tank Engine, and charged at Gordon's Hill beyond. They felt the drag of their 15 coaches here. It was hard work, but once over the top, the last 10 miles were plain running. And they swept into the big station in fine style. "Hullo," said Gordon. "You're early. That's one in the headlamp for old Diesel. Have you heard the latest?" he chuckled. Diesel had sucked the inspector's hat into his air pipe. That's why he broke down. James says he's sick as boiler sludge and sulking in the shed. Out of date, are we? Ho, 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 and still laughing. Donald and Douglas made everyone sing Auld Lang Syne. Next morning, Thomas was still fuming. "Shunted, and on my own branch too. It's a disgrace." "I'm sorry," said Stepney. "I was a special." "Why?"
An important passenger arrived just as you left. He ordered a special train and Duck let me take it. We had a splendid run, but, finished Thomas kindly, it can make an engine nervous not to know the line. Exactly, said Stepney. You're such an expert.
What can I say? I'm a born storyteller.
I'll bet it seemed like 1,000 dogs.
Oh!
Twitter painted.
Well. If it isn't the young prince. One of these days we'll meet up again. And when we do...
Get it off! Get it off! Mommy, get it off! Mommy! See, I told you turtles were scary.
This made Thomas feel much better. He couldn't be cross anymore and instead began telling Stepney all about his branch line.
But what about Diesel? He'd slipped away the night before. He said goodbye to no one, but left two things behind: the nasty smell of bad manners and a battered bowler.